David Ellery, interesting choice as referee. He's had his run-ins with Sir Alex Ferguson in the past. Sent off Roy Keane 3 times. A bit of a history between him and United, but I saw him over breakfast at the hotel this morning, and he was saying that everything's fine now. Teddy Sheringham just named Footballer of the Year at the age of 35. Congratulations to him. 20 goals this season. That award, very prestigious, voted by the football writers. Well done to Teddy. And United getting us underway here at a packed Old Trafford. The pitch better than it has been of late. And straight away, Paul Dickov biting into the tackle. Prepared to mark Kennedy. Just interesting to see how United will look here. A lot of people around Old Trafford saying they don't want City to go down, including Sir Alex Ferguson and his assistant Steve McLaren. But they can't afford too many favours here to be put in City's direction. The other sides at the bottom would not appreciate that, and I think the fans, well, the rivalry is as bitter as ever, of course. At least as far as City are concerned, they can't be relegated by United today. Wiekens, who's been with City right the way through from their days in the second division only a couple of years ago, of course. This is Howey with the header. Philip Neville with the header for United. City have had no win at all over Manchester United since 1989, when they beat them 5-1 at Main Road. Long time ago. Well cut out that by Grant. Here's Charvet, a former Newcastle player, up towards Paulo Wanchope, who's rediscovered his form a little of late. Now then, Chadwick, the coltish winger for Manchester United. Getting a run out today with Ryan Giggs being rested, probably to make sure that Giggs' suspect hamstring is not given too much work at the end of a long season. Philip Neville down the line. You can be sure that Manchester City will absolutely work their socks off here in pursuit of something. Coventry did get a couple of goals here last weekend, but of course United scored 4. That was the problem, as far as they were concerned. Stam now. Keane. Does well. Bit too easy as far as City were concerned. Here's the cross. And away by Howey. Charvet, the Frenchman. Into Tony Grant. Back in favour now after being loaned out to West Brom earlier in the season. Dickov. It's nicely worked here for Danny Granville. What City would give for some early goal here to defend. Grant. Wiekens. City pushing the ball around quite confidently in the midfield. Certainly buoyed up a little by winning at Leicester last week. Their away form has been pretty handy. They'd be in the middle of the table if they could have repeated it at home. Gary Neville playing in the centre today, gets it away, back to Tony Grant. Granville. Dickov, and he got a knock there after it had gone from Wes Brown. Free kick City. Brown switched to right back. Just looked a little bit dodgy last couple of games, Wes Brown, against Coventry and against Bayern in midweek. Dickov with the free kick, goes a long way. It was Brown who got it away, back in by Wiekens, deflected against the crossbar. Oh, how close were Manchester City then? I think it hit Brown. He gets it away. Wiekens with the shot, and off Brown and against the bar and away. Unbelievable. And that in the 5th minute. Dickov with the header. Philip Neville was guarding that post. Here's Jeff Whitley. And Barthez hasn't got it. Free kick, though. You can't breathe in the vicinity of goalkeepers, you might have noticed. Let's just see how much contact there was on the keeper here. This is that earlier incident. Wiekens with the shot, and it was off Brown, and it could easily have ended up in the back of the net. There's Gary Neville. Sure, Joe Royle is sitting there thinking, if only that had gone in. There's Paul Scholes, happy to be back in the centre of midfield. Lovely ball to Keane. It stretched Manchester City. And a vital challenge from Whitley, who's been one of Manchester City's best players this season. Oh. Well, any thoughts that Manchester United might be feeling a little bit flat about things possibly could be dispensed with. There's the ball. Lovely ball it was too to Keane, and Whitley, that was an absolutely crucial challenge. And Keane had a real swipe at him twice. One in the air by Brown for United, back by Granville. Barthez with the long ball. A win here today for Manchester City would put them level with Coventry, just ahead of them, and within 2 points of Middlesbrough. Those two, of course, play this afternoon. Really would be a sensational result if City were to do it. In the Premiership, only Liverpool have won here this season. Oh, now caught by Granville there was Brown. Now the referee, is he going to give him a yellow card for that? Doesn't look like he is. Joe Royle, interestingly, saying before this game that he thinks David Ellery is the best referee in the Premiership, and he's very happy to have him refereeing this game. Beckham. Too long for everybody in the end. Nash, the City goalkeeper, was, as a teenager, part of the United Youth Academy. Then he was involved in a car crash and lost interest in the game for a while. Good shot stopper at Stockport, and Joe Royle's put him in the side for the last couple of games at the expense of Nicky Weaver, who you can see behind Joe Royle there. Weaver making a few howlers. 8 minutes gone, no goals so far in the Manchester derby, but City hitting the bar early. Difficult bounce, and Wanchope's through here, great chance. Surely Manchester City have the lead here. Oh no, Stam off the line. How crucial a moment is that going to turn out to be in Manchester City's season? It seemed that Paulo Wanchope had to score. The Costa Rican, who has a habit of scoring at Old Trafford. He did it on his debut in English football for Derby on this ground in a famous win for them, and he really should have put that away, you feel. But signs of encouragement here for Manchester City. Dickov touches it to Charvet, charged down by Scholes, who looked less than 10 yards away even when it was first touched. Here's Keane. Solskjær. Scholes picks it up. Keane was all a little bit too tight. Wiekens doing a good work. A lot of men in that midfield for Manchester City, crowding it out in there with 5 central midfield players. United playing their usual 4-4-2. Here's Jeff Whitley. Dickov, good little touch. Finds Grant, who's got a bit of room if he can let the shot go. Might drop for Wanchope and offside. Chadwick. Solskjær, if he can get there, I don't think he will. Nash quickly off his line. It's going to be a very interesting summer, I think, at Old Trafford. There's bound to be a bit of wheeling and dealing, and I wonder whether 1 or 2 famous names just might be on their way. Sheringham, not seeing too much of the ball, the footballer of the year so far. Steve Howey, locked in a few battles with Manchester United in his Newcastle days. Håland just getting himself in a bit of a mess over there on the right-hand side, and it means that Manchester United have a free kick, and David Beckham is going to fancy this. Scorer, of course, of the winner when the 2 sides met back at Main Road in November. Here's Beckham, well charged down by the City wall. Keane, Scholes, got hold of it well, and well held by Nash. He had to hold it too because Sheringham was closing in. Low and hard by Scholes, who can really hit them, of course. Now then, Whitley for Manchester City, who played well so far and could easily be ahead. Now Grant, Charvet does well. Here's David Beckham, who's been rested quite a lot of late. He was suspended, of course, in midweek against Bayern Munich. They could have done with him. That's a lovely ball to pick out Chadwick. It was a good run too by the youngster into the channel. Wiekens with the excellent challenge. Then Granville. Now Dickov. Dickov seems to have license to roam. City's problem is getting enough men forward to cause problems. Joe Royle was saying before the game he feels that you can get at Manchester United. If they've got a weakness, it might be defensively, he said. Now then, Sheringham. Chadwick, if he can get behind. It was well read, though, by Håland. Here's Gary Neville. Nicely picked up by Howey. Now Whitley, the Northern Ireland international, didn't really give Wanchope too much of a hope. Stam biting in with successive challenges. Scholes nips it away, and Solskjær was instinctive. Sheringham, incidentally, was in an offside position, but definitely not interfering on the far side as Solskjær had that shot. There was that chance for Wanchope after a mistake by Philip Neville, and it was just too wide, and Stam got it off the line. Wanchope, who scored here last year and put West Ham ahead, and United went on to hit 7. Coming up towards the quarter of an hour mark here. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Keane with room to drive through that midfield. Scholes. City's tactics clearly to stop Manchester United having too much room to create and play. Charvet making his presence felt over on that right-hand side. He's really a defender, but has pushed forward to quite good effect so far and caused one or two problems for Phil Neville here. Here's Keane. Lots of outspoken comment from him this season on one subject or another. Sheringham let it under his foot. Interestingly, Telly Sheringham still hasn't signed another new deal to keep him at United. Wanchope here has had a bit of a fractious relationship with Gerrard this season. That's going to be a free kick. David Ellery choosing not to resort to yellow cards, doing it his own way. Just a quiet word here and there. Now then, Beckham. Oh, Stam kept that in play too. Just as well that Grant was there when that was hooked back. City just going to sleep. They're going to have to keep their concentration. They can't afford the sort of lapses that have characterised their return to the Premiership. 60 goals conceded is far too many. Where's Brown getting in behind there for a moment? It was well cut out by Dickov of all people who'd got back. Now Wanchope. Feeling among football people that maybe Manchester City got promoted a season or so too early. Only 2 years ago, of course, they were playing at Wembley in that famous playoff final against Gillingham. Dickov in the picture there scored the famous equalizer in the last minute of a very dramatic game. Here's Stam, good value even at £10.5 million. Now Scholes looking for movement ahead of him. Beckham had come forward. It was carefully watched by Granville. Incidentally, those two played together, Granville was telling me, in the Enfield Junior League when they were boys. Keane missing out with Wanchope, who goes past Stam as well and goes to the ground, wants a free kick, and David Ellery is shaking his head at him. No way, he says, and he was perfectly placed. All the other sides down at the bottom, who kick off a bit later, I'm sure, will have their eyes glued to this, and they'll be hoping that United inflict more misery on City. Chadwick with a good run. He's still got it too. He's shaken off Whitley. He's got the cross in. And Nash is able to claim it. One or two City hearts who are missing a beat there. Lots of room for Dunne to move into. Here's Roy Keane, last year's Footballer of the Year, to Solskjær. Has the reputation of super sub. In fact, 10 of his 12 goals this season have come when he's been in the starting lineup. Sunlit, almost spring-like day. Wonders will never cease here in Manchester. They could even be playing cricket across the way at Old Trafford. Just under 20 minutes gone. So far, so good for Manchester City, who hold on to 0-0 and have had the better chances, in fact. Barthez comes, and Barthez gets. Stam for Manchester United. Chadwick. Scholes. Solskjær. Bit of room here, maybe. And he's hustled out of it well by Howey, who gives the ball straight to Beckham, though. Chadwick. Plenty of United movement, but City hold firm, and now they can break. Not much, really, for Whitley to aim at. Wanchope came short for him. Now it's Grant. Now there are a few light blue shirts forward. Gary Neville with the vital interception. City do have a few attacking options on the bench today. The two wide men, Kanchelskis and Kennedy, and Sean Goater, who's been in good goal-scoring form lately. Used to be on United's books as well. Scholes with the interception. Chadwick can keep this in play. In towards Solskjær. Again, City defend well. Håland towards Wanchope. There's Jeff Whitley, who's having a very good game in that midfield for City. Keane brings it away. Now Beckham, who was beaten by just 2 votes in the voting for Footballer of the Year by his teammate Sheringham, who has the header now. And that looked like it went out of play, and did. Not really been in good touch today, Sheringham. Not yet, anyway. Play on, says the referee. Thought he was about to put the whistle to his mouth. Thought better of it. Wiekens up towards Wanchope. It's his first Manchester derby. Wanchope was dropped for the game at Main Road earlier in the season. Grant. Howey. Again, he gives the ball away, Howey, in the clearance. And United can build again. Beckham with a bit of room this time. A lot of red shirts in the penalty area. Dunne gets there just as well. He did as well. There was a lot of trouble waiting with intent. Dickov's little back heel for Granville. Håland is turned up on the left wing, the nominal right back. Interesting. Paul Scholes. United beginning to take over the midfield. It's Chadwick. City sitting back, getting men behind the ball, and so far quite successful in breaking up United's attacks around the edge of the penalty area. And how much will they come to rue the 2 opportunities? The one that hit the bar, deflected off Wes Brown, and the big chance for Wanchope. Granville. Here's Laurent Charvet. Free kick, surely. Whitley. Now then, Dickov. Turn well. Oh, and inches away. It was a great piece of work, that, by Paul Dickov. Clever little spin. And the low shot, which was only narrowly wide. How narrowly, you can assess here. Oh. Nicely created. Clever little turn by the Scot. United have won so much silverware in recent times that the cupboards around Old Trafford must be creaking by now. The actual presentation won't be till the 6th of May for some inexplicable reason. I couldn't understand why it wasn't this morning. But there you go. 20 minutes to half-time, still 0-0 here. Charvet looking to spread it wide. And Beckham, can Granville get to this, mind you? Barthez wants to play sweeper, and once again does it pretty effectively. That wasn't a bad ball either, was it? To Solskjær. Keane. Sheringham. Scholes. And it hit the back of his heel, happily for City. Scholes wants the shot this time. Not his best effort. He's got 11 this season. And scored the winner in this fixture 5 seasons ago, the last time Manchester City were here in the league. City fans, by the way, just tucked into one little corner of Old Trafford. It's a shame, really, for a derby in a big city like this that the allocation isn't greater for the visiting club. I should think City could probably have sold about 30,000 for this game, maybe more than that. Long-suffering fans, of course, but they can't complain about it being dull. Promotion or relegation just about every season, certainly 4 of the last 5 anyway. Philip Neville in plenty of room on the left-hand side. Free kick, and again this will be a chance for David Beckham. He hasn't scored at Old Trafford since October. And this is exactly the right sort of range too, for him to get the ball up and over the wall and then down again. Horrible sense of deja vu, maybe, for the City fans here. It's Beckham, it's good, and it's wide, but only just. Now, this was almost a replica of the winner at Main Road in November. I'm not sure Nash was going to get there. I'm sure he'll tell us differently, mind you. Brown's header. Here's Sheringham. Sheringham a bit surprised to get that Footballer of the Year award, because he said, as far as he was concerned, he's had a good 2/3 of the season. Still 0-0. Scholes. Gary Neville. Where's Brown? But you'd hardly say here that United are simply going through the motions, far from it. Can City really afford to sit back? They're doing it quite well and defending quite well, but they have to exist as an attacking force here too. In the first quarter of an hour, they certainly did that. Half an hour gone. Now then, here's Sheringham. Well read by Håland. It's another who's had a few battles with Manchester United over the years, going right the way back to his days with Brian Clough at Nottingham Forest. Gary Neville. Oh, Solskjær got the other side of Dunne for a moment there. But Nash was able to claim it. Knocked up towards Charvet. Scholes. Howey couldn't find his feet at a vital moment, but neither could Solskjær, really. Whitley and Grant both playing well in that central midfield area for City, and Wiekens dropping deep and breaking up a few things, helping out the defence when he can. Almost playing as an auxiliary central defender, Wiekens, at times. Well, they've come here with a plan, no doubt about it, Manchester City, and so far it's working. Wiekens' little chip, a hopeful chase from Wanchope, and Fabian Barthez catching his instep on Wanchope's studs for a moment there. Stam. Keane caught in possession, unlike him. Beckham into space. He might have gone on with that. Instead, he lays it back to Sheringham. It's cut out again by that hard-working, hard-pressed City defence. They're beginning to turn the screw a bit. Beckham plays this in. One or two of the fans went for handball, but none of the players there. Referee not interested. City can break here if they're quick. It's Whitley. Dickov out wide. Former Arsenal man way back, Paul Dickov. Håland. Quite a few Manchester City players forward, but a very poor cross indeed. It was a nothing sort of ball that from Håland. He's a player who's really fallen in love with Manchester City, Alfie Håland. Got the job of marking Luke Chadwick today, the 20-year-old. Ole Gunnar Solskjær for Wes Brown. Not the pass he intended, but it's fallen here for Scholes! And it was blocked by Richard Dunne. So far, the worst defence in the Premiership, managing to contain the best attack. But for how much longer? Phil Neville won't get that. The Manchester City fans beginning to make their voices count. They've really suffered at United hands over the years. Certainly the recent ones anyway. Now then, Dickov. Manchester United have 46 points out of 51 at Old Trafford this season. It's an incredible record. They've won the last 8 here in the Premiership. Home win almost taken as read. No play on words intended there, but here's Keane. Philip Neville. Scholes. Chadwick's pulled out wide, and there's a queue of red shirts in the middle if he can find any of them. He can't because Whitley gets in the way. The cross wasn't the best from the youngster. 10 minutes to the break. Chadwick. Cut out by Grant. Sheringham looking for the quick 1-2. Again, too many blue shirts there, but City have almost conceded the middle third of the field here. Barthez going route 1 to Beckham, who's got it behind! Well, what an extraordinary goal that would have been. And Barthez would have been claiming the assist, and rightly too. Look at this. What's that? 60 yards, and Beckham off the outside of the foot. Just got too much on it. Goodness me. Best chance yet, though, that for Manchester United. Dickov, good layoff to Granville. Here's Wanchope. Can they keep possession for a while, Manchester City? They've had to be chasing United around a fair bit. And that can tell on the team in the later stages of the game. One United fan cruelly saying to me before the kickoff here today, it'll be Sir Alex Ferguson's last Manchester derby. The inference being that he doesn't think City will be back here next season. Let's just see. Stam. How can he take this? Finds Chadwick all right. Beckham. Keane. Again, is not a good one. There's Brown, maybe not just in his best form right at the moment in that unfamiliar right back position. Gary Neville. Cut out by Richard Dunne, the Man City signed from Everton earlier on this season. But City just giving the ball away a little bit too easily now. They're having to defend intently and intensely. Barthez almost up to the halfway line, trying to set up another attack. Gary Neville. Now Philip Neville. Looks quite tight, but Scholes has found a release ball to Sheringham. Delayed the cross, and there's Wiekens. Oh, that's a poor ball by him. Could be costly. Brown goes for the 1-2. But Scholes' ball was just too far ahead of him, and another United attack breaks down. Well, they live in hope. Six minutes to the break. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0 in this 126th league meeting between these two famous clubs. United, by the way, ahead by 49-32 down the years, the rest of them draws. Scholes won it well. And Wiekens again, the covering was very good by Manchester City. They are, in the vernacular of the business, working their socks off. Here's Dickov. Well, that might have been interesting if Wanchope could have got across the ball and got a little touch on it. Scholes wants a handball and gets it. This game, the talk of the town, of course, though incredibly, I saw one guy at the traffic lights passing Old Trafford this morning saying, oh, is the game today? I thought it was tomorrow. There's always one, isn't there? Here's Chadwick, who stays down after the challenge by Howey. And Howey himself is now on the floor. One or two things for David Ellery just to sort out here. Beckham, meanwhile, has gone to have a word with the referee's assistant. Chadwick just seemed to run into Howey. And I couldn't really tell you what caused Howey's injury. He seemed to go out, down off the ball, unless there was a little bit of afters after the ball had gone away. What's Sir David Ellery going to give here? He's just had a word with his assistant on this side. Doesn't seem too concerned about anything, except whether Howey's all right. Just could have taken a little bit of a knock maybe from Solskjær. But I don't think the referee felt there was any evil intention. Let's have another look. Another angle on it. No, it's just one of those things by the look of it. Three and a half minutes to the break. And City started off with 1 point. If they can keep it like this, that's what they'll get. It'd probably leave them needing to win their last 3 games, mind you. David Ellery now wants a little word with Beckham and Dickov. Still no sign of a yellow card, and I must say that's good to see. Now then, Dickov with the free kick, and City have got men forward here, big men too, like Charvet and Håland in there. Wanchope nods it down, and nobody can get on the end of it. Extraordinary player, Paulo Wanchope. He seems sort of rubber-legged and elusive at his best. Got the winner last week at Leicester with a cheeky back heel. The decibel level is raised as half-time approaches here at Old Trafford. United still looking for the breakthrough. There's Roy Keane. Sheringham had pulled into space. Oh, and this could be the opportunity. Solskjær denied brilliantly by Nash. And away by Whitley. Well, that time City were pulled apart, but the goalkeeper came to the rescue. Phil Neville. Chadwick. All about the volley, then trying to take it round the defender. Well, Carlo Nash, making only his 3rd appearance for Manchester City, came up with a big save here to deny Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Really got hold of it too. Great save, it really was. Superb reactions. Nash playing his first ever game at Old Trafford. Be 1 minute of added time at the end of the half, we're told. And Beckham is complaining to the referee again here. There's one or two little things, niggly things going on off the ball. All the players with plenty to say. It almost looks like they're going to get a 2-day seminar underway there at the moment. They've got enough people around. Wanchope with Phil Neville now then. Well, you've seen players sent off for less than that, although Phil Neville made a little bit of a meal of it, but he certainly was just butted a little bit. Be a shade lucky there, Paulo Wanchope. Referee's actions might have been a little different had he seen what you just saw. Here's Beckham. City now, as they have been for about the last half an hour, almost solely in survival mode. Started brightly, could have been ahead. Since then, they've defended very well, worked very hard. Whether they can sustain this for another 45 minutes is another question, of course. Beckham fouled by Granville. It was clumsy more than anything, but it'll give United a free kick in stoppage time. And this likely to be the last act of the first half. Brown and Stam have gone forward for this free kick. Beckham takes it. Keane won it on the back post. Away by Howey, back in by Stam. And then Håland gets it away. Phil Neville back into the mix-up. Beckham. Claims handball there. Well, it'll be interesting to see that again. It's not given anyway. And that was the last bit of drama of a goalless first half. So far, so good for Joe Royle. Paulo Wanchope, who should have put Manchester City ahead early on here. Nash with a big save just before half-time to deny Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Good work, though, by Manchester City. I tell you what, if they defended like that for the rest of this season, they might not be in the bother they find themselves in at this particular moment. Well, they're pretty good mates, Sir Alex Ferguson and Joe Royle, finding plenty to talk about at half-time. And the Manchester derby at the moment is deadlocked, which isn't too bad news for Manchester City. It's Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Now, Andre Kanchelskis, the former Manchester United Championship winner, local favourite around here, will be introduced by Manchester City in the second half, which is a sign of more attacking intent from City. They need it as well. I can't really sit back like that, I don't think, for another 45 minutes and expect United not to score. Tony Grant is the player who's come off. So interesting to see how City play. Kanchelskis, who incidentally has scored a hat-trick in a Manchester derby 7 years ago here when United beat City 5-0. That same season he also scored at Main Road in a 3-0 win for United, and he now joins the small group of players who've played for both clubs in a Manchester derby. Another, of course, was Denis Law, who was to play such a central part in the drama back in 1974, the last time City won here. A backheeled goal that sent Manchester United down. And that was the same year that many of this United side were actually born, including this man, David Beckham. Here's Chadwick. No changes, by the way, for Manchester United at half-time. Chadwick wants a free kick. He's not going to get one. And David Ellery was about 2 yards away when he made the decision to. He's having a good game, the referee, so far. And it's been a contentious figure, but then you could say that about just about every referee out there. Comes with the territory these days. Charvet to Kanchelskis. Richard Dunne, that seemed to take a deflection off Sheringham. It ought to be a City ball, that. It certainly did. I don't think that either the referee or his assistant spotted that. United get the throw. Here's Gary Neville. Solskjær. Beckham thought about hitting that first time. Oh, they left Solskjær free for a moment. Could be costly, but isn't. Interestingly, Cole and York not even on the bench today, having started in Munich in midweek. There was one or two stories around about Cole having some sort of injury, but it's quite interesting from United. Brown with the header. Steve Howey. Now Danny Granville. City needing to win more possession, you feel. They did quite well in that respect in the opening 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, but since then United have just hogged the ball. To be fair to City, United haven't created that much. United, though, have hit 102 goals this season in all competitions. 74 of them in the Premiership. Charvet getting it forward towards Håland. Dickov working hard, but Granville won't get there, and he's out of position now as United counter-attack. Keane leads that charge. Solskjær. Keane again to the near post, and there's a free kick for an incident off the ball there involving Scholes and Håland, I think it was. Eagle-eyed there, David Ellery, because the ball was miles away from where that happened. Just a bit of shoving. Sir Alex Ferguson with Steve McLaren behind. A lot of talk all through next season, of course, about who's to be the successor. Won't be an easy job for whoever takes over. Which new players will arrive here? A lot of speculation about Rivaldo of Barcelona, though it all seems to come to nothing. Maybe Edgar Davids, the tenacious midfield player. Van Nistelrooy, we think, will be coming to Old Trafford soon. Now then, that's too long for Sheringham. Difficult game this, from Manchester United's perspective, coming as it does with the Championship already in the bag. Europe out of the window for another season. They're really now just going through the motions now until the end of the season. But in a Manchester derby, make no mistake, they'll still want the points. The United players and the club won't want the City fans crowing about a famous win at Old Trafford for the next few months. Local bragging rights at stake, and much more, of course, than that as far as City are concerned. They have to play West Ham at home, Ipswich away, and Chelsea at home in their remaining games after this. Keane. Still 0-0 here. No breakthrough for Manchester United. Now then, Beckham. Flick through. Oh, Phil Neville nearly got on the end of that. Claims a penalty for a little nudge. Not given. Jeff Whitley. Kanchelskis. Maybe not quite with that jet-heeled speed that marked his days at Old Trafford before. He's 32 now, the Ukrainian. And already a rather large hole in this Manchester City sock, presumably from somebody's stud. Now this is long. Whitley's got to win this for Manchester City, and does. Now he's given that away, as you know. Keane claims he was nudged by Håland, not given. Wanchope. Meat in the sandwich. Beckham tries to pick him up and Wanchope doesn't take his hand. Granville. Good little ball in for Dickov here. Sending off at Everton, reduced to a yellow card by today's referee, in fact, David Ellery. And there's Alex Stepney, the former Manchester United goalkeeper, who is now City's goalkeeping coach. And Tony Coton, the former City goalkeeper, is United's keeping coach. Confused? You will be. It's Chadwick for United. Charvet with the interception. Whitley. Now Wanchope. Could do with a little bit more support up there, but City's strategy is based on crowding the midfield. And if they put another player up front, they won't be able to do that job as effectively. Normally, a point here for City would be a fantastic result. Now, they've got a chance of breaking if they're quick here. Dickov, there's no hope at all for Wanchope with that. Here's Solskjær. Chadwick. Almost threaded through to Sheringham, who was offside anyway. Free kick to City. It's a pretty good suffocation job that Manchester City are doing here. They've only lost one of their last 7 away matches, Manchester City, and that's outstanding for a team in their position. But their problems have all come at home, where they've taken just 12 of 51 points all season. And that is, well, chronic, frankly. Solskjær. Here's Whitley, who's been Manchester City's outstanding player for me so far. Kanchelskis. They know that style, the United fans. They're not used to seeing it in a sky blue shirt, mind you. Dunne, he might turn into trouble there, and he nearly did. Nimble footwork for such a big man. Whitley looks for the 1-2. Wanchope. He's on his own, though. Whitley could have continued with his run and would have been in space had he done so. Barthez and Wanchope sharing a little joke. Dickov nicking the ball away from Beckham. Now Håland. Now there are a few Manchester City players forward. Charvet this time. Towards the back post, Wanchope, it's just too far for him. A rare City foray into the United half. And still the leggy Wanchope, but Gary Neville, no problems. Now United looking for a classic break. This is what they're about so often. It's Beckham, but he's overrun it. It's a good challenge by the Irish international, Richard Dunne. Wiekens. Up well for the header, but it's fallen for Solskjær. Now Sheringham. Again, Howey with the header. He's been so important in the air back there. Now he signed for £3 million from Newcastle United last summer. Still 0-0. 55 minutes here. Charvet caught out by Scholes. Keane. Just 1 or 2 signs, I think you'd have to say, of United being a little flat and lethargic, just lacking the zest and fire that often characterises their work at Old Trafford, certainly domestically. Will we see Rivaldo, Zidane, Thuram, maybe even Kieran Dyer or Michael Ball or Emmanuel Petit at Old Trafford next season? Now to be some element of rebuilding. Now then, here is Stam. Sheringham. Chadwick. Couldn't control it and hustled out of it quite well by Granville. Now then, Kanchelskis. Can he go off on one of those famous runs of his? It's Kanchelskis. Oh, and his shot was blocked by his own player, Håland. He was in an offside position as it happened, but the referee sensibly says play on because United have the ball, and it's Beckham this time. That's a great ball. Sheringham is wide. Chadwick's arriving. So Scholes. Here is Scholes. Back to Beckham. And wide. Took a deflection on the way through. United have the corner. Can City hold out here? Beckham towards the back post. Again, Dunne gets there. Dunne and Howey playing stormers for City in the centre of that defence. And out of play. Looked to come off the City player last, so United have the throw. Neville's long throw, won by Stam. It ought to be Carlo Nash's, it is. United have failed to score in only 3 of their last 47 Premiership matches. Charvet. Manchester United are warming up Ryan Giggs. Just what Manchester City wanted, I'm sure. Looks like Chadwick might be the player who comes off. Meanwhile, Kanchelskis. City haven't taken so much as a point off Manchester United since way back in 1992-93. Can they do it here? And would even that be enough in their perilous plight at the bottom? It's Beckham for Manchester United. Room outside. It's Wes Brown. Was that a penalty? It is. City's heads drop. Brown is brought down. And is this the end of the City resistance? Dickov chasing back. And it was clumsy, and he couldn't really complain. He seemed to grab hold of Wes Brown. He was nowhere near the ball. And Paul Scholes has the chance to put United ahead from the penalty spot. And all of City's relegation rivals are hoping he does exactly that. It's that cruel at this stage of the season. The resistance has been brave, but it could be about to end now. On the hour mark. Scholes with the penalty. And he's missed it! What a big moment that is! Paul Scholes misses the penalty, and Paul Dickov looks the most relieved man in Old Trafford, apart from those City fans, because it just scraped the post. Well, maybe it is City's day. Chadwick not able to make that much impression, replaced by Ryan Giggs. Giggs, who scored a winner in a Manchester derby back in the 95-96 season at Main Road, when United won 3-2. That's a bit short from Stam. Barthez is quickly on the scene. A little push on Giggs by the look of it. from Charvet. But City get the throw in. City could have no real complaints about that penalty being given. City definitely off the hook as Scholes misses from the penalty spot on the hour. Now here's Giggs for United. One in the air, Solskjær. Oh, it was a clever effort. He tried to get the cross shot in, but couldn't quite get either the accuracy or the power he was looking for. But you could see what was in his head here, Solskjær, looking for that far corner. It's been a bargain at £1.5 million from Molde in Norway, that's for certain. He would be first choice just about everywhere else, certainly in the Premiership, you'd think. Can Manchester City make the most of their let-off? It's Keane. It's almost constant one-way traffic, though. Just can't hold on to the ball, Manchester City. They've given it away again there. And one of the problems with only one player playing up is there's just not enough balls to release the players to, and it's Solskjær. Couldn't get enough on it. Here's Håland to little Jeff Whitley. Now Kanchelskis, clever flick. Charvet, Kanchelskis makes his run. He could have done with that being played in the channel for him. Charvet didn't see it. This afternoon, City's rivals in action, Middlesbrough against Leicester, and Coventry, who go to Ipswich, who are up there near the top. And the result here will only be put in its proper context when we know those results later. At the moment, with 25 minutes left, City are good for a point. 0-0 still. Håland just gets a little warning there from the referee. Basically, I think, for saying, look, I'm going to add on the time. There's no point trying to waste it. Phil Neville let that go inexplicably. Gary Neville, his brother, hooks it away. Wiekens with the header, but now Beckham. Solskjær trying to switch the play, stretch City's packed defence. Away by Håland. Giggs. Beckham. Where's Brown? It's an amazing defensive effort, this, from Manchester City. Oh, what a mistake by Dickov! And Solskjær cannot take advantage, but Nash did wonderfully well. Once again, Paul Dickov was the culprit for Manchester City. He gave away the penalty, and he very nearly gave away a goal then, and this was an absolute horror story. Straight to Ole Gunnar Solskjær, of all people, and Carlo Nash did a great job in denying him. Just got something on it without fouling Solskjær either. Twice in 5 minutes, City play Houdini. Here's Ole Gunnar Solskjær. And they can't give him time to line up shots. Keane from a long way. Oh. It was an absolute tracer bullet from the skipper. He's only got 3 goals this season, which is a low return for him. He really got hold of this. Good deflection. Here's Dickov, already a central part of the drama here. Down goes Gary Neville. That hit him at high velocity. And it happened just as United were planning to replace Wes Brown. Silvestre left out of the starting lineup today after what was not a good performance from him in Munich on Wednesday. There's been speculation he might be one of those to go if there is to be some sort of clear out at Old Trafford. That was the penalty given away by Dickov with the push on Wes Brown, and then Scholes just shaved the post and went wide. That was on the hour mark, and 5 minutes later Dickov presented the chance for Solskjær, who didn't take it. City leading something of a charmed life, but they might say that over the season they've deserved it, because the luck hasn't always gone their way. As a curiously disallowed goal by Danny Tiato against their relegation rivals Middlesbrough. It's just one example. Beckham, Sheringham, gaps beginning to appear though now ominously. Can Solskjær get on the end of this? He can't. It was well cut out by Steve Howey again, who's having some match back there. Stretches out those long legs. So Brown goes off, and I would think Philip Neville will switch to right back with Silvestre going to left. So on comes the former Inter Milan player. Meanwhile, Spencer Pryor comes on to replace Wiekens for Manchester City. Pryor, a central defender. City's intentions pretty clear. 20 minutes remaining, just over. Sheringham, that old ruse of coming to the near post, nearly works again. Philip Neville. And Nash says, that's mine. Former Stockport goalkeeper has done well here. Stam. Will he have a new central defensive partner next season? Just have to wait and see. Now here's Keane. Solskjær goes down. Is that another penalty? It is! It was Dunne's challenge. He just caught him. What's going to happen here? Fabian Barthez wants to take it. Fabian Barthez has come forward and wants to take it. Let me have a go, he says. I don't think they're going to let him. Sheringham's there this time. Gary Neville wants a go. I don't think they're quite sure who is going to take it. It's going to be the footballer of the year, I think, Teddy Sheringham. What happens this time? Oh, he got his hand to it. Nash, but United are ahead. And Teddy Sheringham, with his 21st goal of the season, celebrates his Footballer of the Year award with the goal for Manchester United. But how close was Carlo Nash to keeping that out? It was a great effort. He got so much on it. United ahead, and the goal arriving with just 19 minutes left. Well, City have been under the cosh for so long, it seemed inevitable that a goal must arrive, and now it has. Pryor with the header. And if Manchester City lose here, they'll remain stuck on 30 points when 40 is the generally agreed safety target, and they'll only have 3 games left, so their maximum would be 39. They'd have to win them all, you'd think, to have any hope. Frankly, it looks very, very grim for them. Beckham. Silvestre gets inside Kanchelskis. Solskjær. Sheringham took a deflection safely into Nash's hands. Well, he'll be so disappointed. Meanwhile, Nicky Butt is warming up. And including the FA Cup tie a few years back, it looks like Manchester United might be on their way to their 9th consecutive win over their local rivals. Pryor taken on by Giggs, managed to get his body in the way. Obstruction is the decision by the referee, which means an indirect free kick. Giggs taking on Pryor for pace, and it was a clear case of obstruction. Can't just block a player off without being in touching distance of the ball. Now Beckham can't hit this directly. It's an indirect free kick. Beckham's complaining the wall isn't 10 yards away. I think he's right as well. David Ellery seems happy enough. I take it, and it's blocked. Beckham goes over to David Ellery to complain about that, and I think he's right. That wall was nothing, but nothing like 10 yards away. Meanwhile, an offside decision gives City a free kick. They've got to gamble now. I wonder whether we'll see Sean Gota soon. Nicky Butt's going to come on for Manchester United. Well, City arrived here today knowing they could expect few favours, even though United had already clinched the championship. And that miss by Paulo Wanchope in the first half is now looking very expensive. Can City, though, come back? Can they produce some late drama of their own? Dickov to the back post, and Barthez catches it with all the confidence of a Test cricketer. This is Giggs. Keane. Dickov chasing back. City just finding it impossible to keep the ball. Quarter of an hour to go. The gap between these two sides has been evident. It's been a brave effort by Manchester City. But United beginning to pull them around now. Solskjær! And away by Granville. It was a very good interception by the former Chelsea and Leeds man. Scholes is going to rest his weary legs. And Nicky Butt will replace him. Central midfield player for central midfield player. One rather more defensive-minded than the other, mind you. Here is Butt's first touch. Beckham. Gary Neville. Philip, I should say. And it was Dunne who got it away. Just penned back all the time, City. Just not been able to keep possession, pass the ball around. And United just beginning to toy with them a little. Keane. And the free kick goes City's way. Came of 2 penalties for United and 2 big moments for Manchester City. One that hit the bar, the deflection off Wes Brown early on, and Paulo Wanchope's wonderful chance not taken in the early minutes. You had the feeling it might prove expensive, and now it has. And the United fans rather enjoying taunting their City counterparts. It's Giggs. United's dominance almost total. Are they going to add to the misery? Giggs with the low ball, nobody attacked it. Sheringham gets it back, Keane plays it in, and Richard Dunne hacks it away anywhere. City look tired now. They've chased hard and harried from the word go here. Now they have a dispirited look. They're no longer defending a point. United lead by a goal to nil. It's Sheringham, the goal scorer from the penalty spot. I think one of the problems for City is that when they were promoted, didn't really strengthen the squad with enough quality players to harbour real hopes of staying afloat in this elite league. There's Dickov, and again the ball is given away, and that's been the story for City really for much of this game now. Dunne. Jeff Whitley. Can Manchester City snatch an improbable equalizer out of somewhere? Handball by Stam gives them a free kick. And what's this, about 25 yards out? And if they're going to snatch anything, you feel it might be from a set piece rather than open play. What can City come up with here? It needs to be something special. Kanchelskis wants to hit it against his old mates. He does hit it too, but only against the wall. Paul Dickov. Into Whitley. Dickov has it again here. Blocked by Gary Neville. City have created almost nothing since the first 10 minutes. But this is such a hard place for any side to come. When you think that Arsenal took a 6-1 thrashing here, City down in the bottom 3 and fighting for their lives. And it was always going to be the north face of the Eiger. Wanchope. Jeff Whitley. Taken quickly, Solskjær to Butt. Sheringham looking to invent something here. Richard Dunne, and there was an offside against Solskjær in the middle. (67,535) Another capacity Old Trafford crowd. If Manchester United win all their remaining games, they'll equal last season's total of 91 points, which was a record. Again, they're going to win the Premiership by a country mile. It was 18 points last year, and it's going to be something similar this time. They're way clear, but as Roy Keane pointed out, they've come up short in Europe, which may raise one or two questions about the real quality of the English game. Some uncomfortable questions. Will the likes of Arsenal, Leeds, Liverpool, Chelsea be able to make a bit more of a race of it next time around? I think for the good of the game, if not for the Manchester United followers, we must hope so. Here's Jeff Whitley. Here's Granville. Corner kick for Manchester City, with just over 7 minutes remaining. They've got to push the big defenders forward here. Dunne stays back, mind you. Howey's in there, Wanchope's in there, Charvet's in there. Tall men. Here is the corner kick, goes a long way, and it's into the back of the net. Steve Howey has come up with a vital goal for Manchester City. How priceless might that be? They've hardly attacked right the way through the second half, but Steve Howey, who's played an absolute stormer at the back, has scrambled home an equaliser. It was off Beckham's head, and Howey has pushed it home. What about that? Only 7 minutes to go. Beckham didn't clear it, and Howey, and he doesn't care how he did it, deflected it into the roof of the net from close in. Well, what a dramatic moment that is. Kanchelskis, having come on as substitute at half-time, has presumably got some sort of knock, and Sean Gota, who started his career at Old Trafford, comes on. It was a decade ago. He never actually made a senior appearance for them. Made his name in the lower divisions at Rotherham and Bristol City, and has got a good goal return for Manchester City, particularly lately. Well, incredible developments here. City level. Now, can they hold on to it? Keane involved here. Now, this is interesting, bearing in mind the history between him and David Ellery. The rest of you away. Beckham having plenty to say. Remember, he's sent him off 3 times in the past. I don't think there's any question. Oh, there is. Goodness me. Keane, can you believe this? Well, the challenge was obviously worse than it looked from far away. And for the 4th time, David Ellery has sent off Roy Keane. Never mind lightning striking 4 times. No, that's why. Right over the top. And he's got to go for that. The challenge was on Håland. Keane can have no complaints at all. The referee was right. And I just wonder whether that was just frustration, pure frustration by Roy Keane, who is sent off, by the way, for the 8th time in his Manchester United career. And it has to be said about David Ellery, the referee has had a very good match here, that he was big enough to make the decision, even bearing in mind the history of it. And I cannot believe that anybody who sees that could possibly argue. Well, some finish here, isn't it? Joe Royal's side have come up with an equaliser. Now United are down to 10 men. Whatever next? Maybe there is still hope for City in this relegation fight. Now there's a little clash between Butt and Gota. Nothing much, really, to be honest with you. United get the free kick. Of course, they're so dangerous late, Manchester United. Seen it so many times. And there's 3 minutes remaining of an increasingly eventful game here. Beckham is dangerous, goes a long way, nearly falls for Solskjær, and Nash gets there in the nick of time. The angle had got too tight in the end, I suspect, for Solskjær anyway. But City can smell a point here, and they're within touching distance of it. But there's still work to do. Nash has got to win this, he does. He's had a commanding match, the goalkeeper. And it was a sound decision, I think, from Joe Royle to replace Nicky Weaver, who'd become a bit nervous and was going through a bad patch, with this goalkeeper who looks full of confidence. Maybe playing behind City's usually wobbly defence all season had rather got to Weaver. Barthez plays it long. Is there another twist still to come in this plot, with under 2 minutes remaining, plus whatever the referee wants to add on? 1-1 here. Bit of a smash and grab raid by Manchester City. Stam. They've been on the back foot for so long, but it's Stam now. Solskjær. Oh, couldn't get there. It's bounced again for Solskjær. Håland gets it away, not very far, mind you. But Granville. Manchester City have somehow got to get hold of the ball and retain possession. It's a knife-edge finish here. Here's Gary Neville. He only needed a touch. Half-hearted claims for handball against Charvet are not given. And he's hit this long, and Barthez has come off his line and beats Wanchope with ease. There's some cool customer, isn't it, this Fabian Barthez? Wanted to take the spot kick as well. I think the crowd wanted him to take it too. Well, they're very excited. They haven't got a point off Manchester United since way back in 1992-93. It's been an unending story of misery for the long-suffering City fans in derby matches. Now they've got some more defending to do, maybe, as Sheringham gains possession. There is quarter of a minute remaining, plus stoppage time. And this has fallen now for Wanchope to Gota. Håland. Whitley's low shot. Some tired legs out there, particularly for Manchester City. But United, even with 10 men, want to attack. That'll be the goalkeepers. We're into stoppage time. There will be 3 minutes added. That's 3 minutes too long, I suspect, for Joe Royle. He's got a dodgy hip. It's just as well his heart's all right. Here's Håland. Don't say City are going to snatch this now. Charvet, that's not a bad ball. Barthez comes and gets it. Well, so many talking points here in the second half. 2 penalties, one of them missed, one of them scored. Keane sent off. Dramatic late City equalizer. A minute of the 3 to be added, and that's not a bad idea actually by Wanchope, but there was nobody attacking the near post for him. Granville. Jeff Whitley. The goal has lifted Manchester City, but Wanchope has given the ball away in a bad area. The City had a few committed forward at that moment too. And there's Giggs. Beckham lays it off. Now here's Nicky Butt. Giggs through the gap. Can he win it here? Oh, and he went past Nash. And luckily for Carlo Nash, he did not bring him down. You thought for a moment here that we were going to have a third United penalty. Watch this. Giggs takes it wide, and there's no contact. There might well have been. Had there been contact, you'd have thought that would have been another penalty. Giggs, to his credit, stayed on his feet. Although I can think of one or two managers who will have told him he should have gone down. Gary Neville. Just over half a minute there should be left of this now. Here is Stam. United still want to snatch it. And Silvestre can't control it. And City might be there. They may have their point. Whether a point is enough in their perilous position is quite another matter. It will lift them to within 2 of Coventry, who are just above them in the bottom 3. It would still leave them 4 points from safety with 3 matches to go. United, you know about, champions. There is the final whistle. It's a wonderful point for Manchester City and a really gritty performance. And I'm sure Joe Royle and Willie Donachie there will argue that they deserve their bit of luck after defending so well for so long. Sheringham got the goal, his 21st of the season, with a penalty that Carlo Nash nearly kept out after Paul Scholes had missed one earlier on. But Steve Howey came up with his 5th goal of the season from central defence, the former Newcastle man, with 7 minutes to go to give Manchester City a point. Roy Keane was sent off by referee David Ellery for the 4th time by that official, but could have no complaints about his over-the-top challenge. It's a great point for City, but is it enough for them in the broader picture of this relegation argument? A dramatic second half here and a final score that reads Manchester United 1, Manchester City 1.